Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to unpack a fascinating topic from our source material, guest posting. It's presented as a really direct model for making money online, and we're going to break down the entire blueprint for you, from the basic idea all the way to how to make it work.
All right, so here's what we've got on deck. First, we'll lay out the basic blueprint for guest posting. Then, we'll dive into the 7 different types of websites you can use for this. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of keywords and SEO. And finally, we'll wrap it all up to get this stuff locked in and exam ready for you.
Now, before we get too deep, here's a super handy trick from the material to help you remember the 7 website types. Just remember this sentence: generous nerds sell tools purely to serve. It sounds a little silly, but trust me, it's going to make remembering these a whole lot easier. We'll break down what each word means as we go. Okay, let's kick things off with section 1, the blueprint. This is where we get to the heart of it, understanding the business model itself, why it's so valuable, and of course, how you actually make money with it. So what is guest blogging exactly? Well, the source gives us a very clear definition, and you'll want to remember this one. It is, quote, guest posting is a method where you write and publish articles on other websites in exchange for backlinks. That's it. It's a simple exchange. You give them content, they give you a link back to your site.
And why do those backlinks matter so much? Well, take a look at this. The data is pretty staggering. There's a direct line between how many backlinks you have and where you rank on Google. The #1 spot averages over 500 backlinks and gets a massive 30% of all clicks. Compare that to the #10 spot. Yeah, the difference is huge. The business model itself is actually really simple. It breaks down into 4 straightforward steps. Step 1, you create a website. Step 2, other websites, sometimes big ones, come to you because they need backlinks. Step 3, you give them those backlinks by publishing their articles on your site. And step 4, they pay you for it, anywhere from $4 to $50 per link according to the source.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because that payment scales up. How much you can charge is tied directly to your site's authority, or what's called domain rating, DR. If your site has a DR between 20 and 30, you're looking at maybe 10 to 25 bucks. But once you build that authority up to DR 50 or higher, you're in a whole different league, commanding $50, even $200 or more for a single post.
All right, let's move on to section 2. Now we're going to get into those 7 different types of websites you can build to create your guest posting business. It's time to put that mnemonic we learned, generous nerds sell tools purely to serve, to work.
First up, we have G for generous. This one stands for the General Niche Informational Website.
The idea here is to go broad. You cast a really wide net, targeting keywords across a bunch of different topics like tech, health, finance, you name it. This helps you pull in all kinds of traffic from people searching for different things. The source points to key2info.com as a perfect example of this model in action. Next up in our phrase is N for nerds. This stands for a niche site with multiple categories.
So this approach is a bit more focused. A common strategy is to use what's called an exact match domain, where the website's name is the actual keyword, like bestlaptopdeals.com. It's still a niche, but you break it down into clear categories to really own that specific space. It's a great middle ground approach.
Okay, the letter S is next for sell. This one represents a service-based website with a blog page, and this model actually appears twice in the list from the source, so we're covering both instances right here.
So this is for a business that already offers a service, maybe you're a writer or a web designer, and you add a blog to bring in traffic and guest post clients. But, and this is a really important note from the source material, recent Google updates have apparently made this model less effective if your only goal is guest posting. So definitely keep that in mind.
Now we're at our first T, which stands for tools. This one is the tool-based general website. This is a pretty clever model. You offer some kind of free, useful tool, like a currency converter, that people want to use. That tool brings them to your site, and you have a blog to support it. The big challenge here, though, is that the source warns you can't get too diverse with your blog topics, or you'll lose what's called topical authority, which is super important to Google.
Let's move on to P for purely. This stands for a pure niche site with a blog page.
This one is my personal favorite, because it's so focused. A pure niche site is all about going deep, not wide. You pick one specific topic and you aim to become the go-to expert on it. Think of a fashion site that only covers skincare. Or better yet, a site that is dedicated to literally nothing but French bulldogs. That's pure niche. And that brings us to our second T, for two. This is the tool-based niche site with a blog page.
This model is a really powerful combination. You take a specific tool, like a YouTube video downloader, and you build a blog that is laser-focused on that tool's niche. The source also gives the example of an AI resume builder with a blog about career advice. The tool and the content just feed off each other perfectly to build authority. This is definitely a pro-level strategy.
Okay, we've covered the 7 website models, so now let's move into our third section, mastering keywords and SEO. Because having a great site is one thing, but you've got to find the right targets to bring in those paying clients.
When it comes to your keyword strategy, the source material gives us a very simple, very clear rule. The do target generic keywords. These are terms where people are looking for information and they're just plain easier to rank for. The don't avoid brand keywords. Those are super competitive and way, way harder to rank for. Simple as that.
And when you're doing that research, you absolutely have to verify your numbers. Don't just rely on one tool. As this example shows, you should check the search volume on places like Ahrefs, SEMrush, and Keywords Everywhere. The big rule here is that the numbers should be in the same ballpark. That consistency tells you that you're on the right track.
So there you have it. We've gone through the whole blueprint, the core business model, the 7 different website types you can build, and the essential rules for keywords and SEO. So that just leaves one big question for you to think about. With all of this in mind, which one of these website types feels like the best opportunity for you to get started with? Thanks for tuning in.